Hello, Papercut here with another replay review. This time we have Snowy. Snowy has been awesome on my coaching Discord. They comment a lot, share their experiences, ask questions, give their thoughts. Really appreciate how much they enjoy the game and looking at their game log. They're a real grinder. And they asked me to look at this game because they feel like they keep struggling. They keep running out of food. They keep struggling in castle, and they want me to really check where's the disconnect on their ability to match their opponent's unit count. So let's jump in and be really pay attention to that, as well as, of course, anything else that happens within this game. So some key things to consider. Map and opponent. Cliffside, very close to your opponent. Look how close we are to our opponent here. You're playing against China. My suggestion. I play China a lot. If you 2TC against China, I think you're giving them too much space. Because they can do two things, especially on this small map. One, a China player who's really efficient macro can just pump Zugno and basically be at your second TC by the time you're starting to make units. And then if they can just get a Zugno mass and cut off your gold and things like that, you're actually sunk. Two, if you 2TC and China 2TCs, you won't be able to match them economically. And two, if you can't do damage, either in feudal or in castle, then they will just outmass you. And so I think your best bet is a 1TC all-in, especially on a small map like this. Mass enough knights, keep raiding, keep them on their toes. Cliffside is... the map spawn's really dependent. Sometimes they can get a really nice pocket of resources, but I mean, just look at this right here. Berries and gold right here. A tower here cuts it off. If he tries to drop a Barbican here, then he gets nothing else. Then you just keep circling, you prevent him getting any of the resources, you mass, you make rams, and you go. And I think you'd be surprised how effective it is, because you just don't want China to grow. You need to cut them off early, and their weakest point is early if they're going for that second TC, if they're trying to boom. So that's my suggestion. Let's see how you play it out. First thing is just build order. You're building the starting hunting cabin with 4. That's too many. I would suggest you build with 2 or 1. Small detail, but worth saying. Okay, so the key thing here for the 3 scout opening here. 1, you should have made the second scout out of TC and the third scout out of the hunting cabin. So you should already have the second scout coming out this way, and third scout would go like over here. And your goal here is that first scout dives deep into the enemy side and tries to kill enemy deer pack. Second scout goes close and gets the initial sheep to drop off the TC, so your units don't, villagers don't run out of sheep. Third one covers the other half of the map and gets all the deer over here. So you have one getting deer deep in enemy territory and back, one covering the other half, and after your second scout drops off sheep, so your villagers don't run out of food, they go support where they're needed most, basically. Maybe you are racing a deer pack with another opponent, your second scout can come up and make sure you win that deer pack, things like that. Then you just rally to food. Catch. Good. Just in case, I would have grabbed that sheep before you finish killing the pack, because you don't want him running by and stealing that sheep from you. So I'm worried about this already because I think you're going to run out of sheep. Okay. No. So why did this one go over here? This was already scouted. You should have immediately gone over here. You're getting good at... You're getting... Are you getting a lot of sheep? 3. I wonder if he snuck in right here and got everything right here. But he's not killing the deer, which is good. Why don't you kill that deer? You just ran past this deer. Oh. Okay. So you're gonna go second TC. I think if you go second TC, you need to be aggressive after the second TC drop. Because if you get to this point, we get to castle, and he can wall himself in. Then he can just do nest of bees. He could just produce... I mean, with his Imperial officials, he can get out an army very quickly. So you just don't want to let him mess up. And look at this. He's super late on his age up. You're already working your second TC, but let's think about the differences here. What if you had just dropped a stable and gone? You could be hitting him with a knight before he even gets the Barbican down. Gold's done. Done. And you see this too. You have the scouting here. You can still change your mind, honestly. Like, you have the ability to cancel this out immediately and go for it. But it's just so obvious. Like, look at the sometimes our decision make when your first scout dove in here, taking the information, berries, gold, deer, berries, everything is right here. This is all of his food. Next closest is up here or over here. This is it. You cut this off, he's dead. And so even if your plan is 2TC, when you see a bunch of resources placed together and you're a Night Civ and you can be aggressive, I think your natural thought process is, maybe I just go for it. I just don't let him live here. Because he's slow. He's obviously doesn't have amazing China early game build orders down yet, because he's way behind on his age up. So you have this opportunity here. Also, once you get all of the areas checked and deer killed, you should send all 3 scouts and just harass gold. You can actually do a lot of damage with early scouts like that. This is so I see a lot of time people who are put their scouts like in a spot, they're too far back. Why are you sitting so far back? You can sit here. He can't kill you. If he chases, you just run away. You have 3 scouts too. If you lose a scout, it's fine. Why are we... You're not actually gaining any information. You should be here. Because you can tell, does he go stone? Does he go 5 on gold? Where's he putting his barbican? Like, you should have every bit of perfect information because you're a roost of 3 scouts, but you're purposely cutting off the information you're getting right here. He scouts you. He sees you're doing second TC. Is he? Is he? We're going to check. Good TC spot. Your other potentially really good option, I would put it literally in the middle of all of the deer right here. I think your other good option would have been here. Boar, berries, deer, stone, gold, wood. It's aggressive, but you can do that because he is being very passive. He hasn't even gone the stone yet. He drops barbican to protect this food, and he drops an immediate archery range and barracks. And you don't know this. You are completely unaware he's making units. Now you're going to check. Cool, you see the barracks. You see the archery range. You see the first ones out. You could have seen this way earlier, though. Way earlier. You drop a stable and archery range of your own. Very nice. He gets a wall up. So I wonder if these units are just defensive units from him, or is he going to be aggressive? That's maybe the question. One thing you could have done, you're spending down your resources really well right now. Like, your macro is good. You have a lot on food, so you can make knights. You have 11 on wood right now, so you can make archers. I would rally this to wood. Yep, this to food. Perfect. Honestly, perfect. The thing you want to get down immediately is a blacksmith, because when you face Zuknu, arrow defense is vital. Because right now he's doing 4 damage a shot 3 times. 4, 8, 12. If you put 1 arrow defense, that becomes 3, 6, 9. So he's literally lost 3 damage. So arrow defense against Zuknu is extremely, extremely important. So I would have dropped an immediate blacksmith, and that's the upgrade you're getting instantly. But you ran away. I need you to stay up here and watch. Another thing you can do is, if you think he's going to push, just go ahead and get textiles. Oh, he's pushing. So this tells you immediately he's coming in. So, something you might want to do. Luckily, you have the Kremlin here, so you can exist here for a little bit. But you might want to put a wall here, so he can't like run in and shoot out some villagers real fast. Now you gotta play super defensive. You also, something you might want to do is put a tower here, so if he comes and pushes this TC, your villagers have multiple places to hide. But he's going for it. And once again, you were somewhat aware, but you could have been way more aware. You could have done something way earlier. And I would want a scout here, so you can see if he decides to move up. Problem is, he has super big scouting vision. No, he doesn't. No, he's Song Dynasty at this point. Never mind. You saw him move. Don't stand here. He's going to get first shots on you. Good. So now it's about producing as much as him, which will be tough because he can use his Imperial officials on his production, which I think he was initially. He has no upgrades, though. His macros are really weird. 700 wood. I wonder if he's going castle. He could be going castle. Guess we'll see. But I would actually have you stand here. Stand here. Because what you don't want is a random, Zignu just getting a few shots in without you realizing. Once again, you're putting your scouts too far back. Scout should be here. Once again, what's the scout looking at? Your scout should be like here. One, you could still raid this, keep in mind. Like, it would have been really effective for you to send 2 knights up here and just try to have knights do one-shot hits, because 2 knights hitting at the same time kills. So see if you can just do these one-shot hits and run away. Boom, out, boom, out. Force him to come back, or force him to make units and push you away, which will buy you time. Because he's trying to attack right now. At least it seems like he is. Doing a good job producing consistently out here. TCs, at this point, I would have dropped a hunting cabin right here, just because this is very inefficient for them to be walking back and forth this much. Okay, you move back. Where's your scout? Why isn't your scout with your military? Please use your scout. He's not doing anything right here. He's fall back. Oh, he's rushing castle. Okay, so once again, your scout's not forward enough to see this, because he stopped making units. You saw his mass. He has stopped making units, and you don't realize this. And here's another thing. If he walks back like this, that's your immediate sign he's rushing castle. Immediate sign. At this point, you have 17 units, and he has 16. So you could actually come up and pressure him. But also, your eco is better than his right now. He's 43, and you're 41. Okay, so what's happened here is he's on song, so he's been producing villages faster, and you haven't had your second TC down long enough to catch back up. I wonder, though, if you have missed villager production at some point. But yeah, at this point, if I was you either deciding, if he walks back, you either have push right now, or go castle yourself. You push up. Still no vision. I'm gonna hammer that because, man, if there's something that I've known this, I felt this, I've experienced in my games, but watching the pros play at the EGC TV tournament recently, the amount that they scout very well and know immediately when their opponent changes something makes everything wise. Always have your scout with a raiding party. Always have your scout with a raiding party. Because if he was with you, you would see he has villagers right here on food. But you don't. If your scout was with up here, you would have seen he was aging up, and you could have died. You could have dove the age up and tried and just killed Vils. Because here's the thing, he has too many villagers to hide. Actually, 8, 15, 9. He could hide a lot of them, but not all of them. And you could have delayed this age up and bought yourself time to get to an age up. Boom, he ages up. At this point, you need to go into protection mode. So I would have dropped a wall, and you have the wood for it, wall, or tower. I would have immediately ran a group of villagers over here for this food, because you need it very, very badly. And because you would have macroed everything on the food. You don't need 20 on wood now, you need to get to castle right now. Also, this is very inefficient. Make sure you're always adding in your lumber camps as they're cutting down, folks. But right now, you just don't have enough on food. Like, you're producing out of 2 TCs, and you only have 14 on food. And right now, you're on berries. And so you have 2 choices, right? Choice 1 is you go for these hunts, which are open to you, because I missed the fight where you dove. So you dove because he went castle, but it's not like you were all in. You know what I mean? The second you saw his military, you hadn't outproduced him enough. Because, look, you're banking resources right now. So it wasn't like you were consistently making units and going. You stopped making units too. So when he hit castle, your calculus could have been, well, I don't want to lose this army. I'm going to back up and just leave knights with a couple scouts to just raid. Because at this point, you want to use your knights to keep him in his base. These villagers should not be on berries. So if you're wondering why is my food so low entering castles, because you lose your first tier pack entering castle, and then you ignored this tier pack and boar, this boar, and you might go, well, that feels dangerous. Yeah, but he was the passive one. He left his base once. You could have been eating these hunts the entire time. You just put a tower up. That's the beauty of Roost. With your towers holding 8 villagers, you could be on a board. 8 villagers, boom, no problem. But you having to go to berries, and what I'm guessing is you might start dropping farms, you're just going to have no food. You're just not using the hunts. You used a 1 hunt, and that was it. Yeah, these berries are so bad for your eco. So what are we doing? Where's your scout? Go. Yep. Yeah. The reason why the Roosts, so if you want a huge reason why the Roosts are so strong, is the mixture of, one, their increased wood gathering from the lumber camps, which once again, anytime you see your villagers have to walk this much, you need to put something in so they don't have to walk this much. But it's because they can get so much wood, so they can get towers, they can get archers, they can do a huge archer mess. 2, because they are often pressuring their opponent, even if they go 2TC, they will be the ones pressuring their opponent. They can then take the hunts, which is so much food, and with your increased gather rate from bounties, you get that even faster. So look, right now your tier 2s, you get 10% food gathering. I think if you killed each of these boars, yeah, if you had killed both these boars, you would be at 500 bounty. But you gather food faster. So if you're on this hunt, you are getting so much food, so you can get so many knights and so many units. But since you're not using the hunt, you are cutting off a critical part of your economy. And I don't know why. Is it because you're afraid of getting pushed? He was in his base. Really, from the moment you dropped that second TC, you should have had a group of villagers that were on the hunt over here with a tower, hunt over here with a tower, and you would be in castle instantly right now. So he's going to do his Palace Guard push on you. You're going to age up. That's an okay one. I don't really think you have a better place to put it, unfortunately. Here. Oh my god. Here would have been huge, but that's too dangerous, so I get why you didn't do it. Oh, it's not any gold. It sucks. So what are you going to do for food? You kill the first deer. Now you're going to the hunt. Why do we take so long to go to this hunt? Your food eco is 650 a minute because these berries suck. Do you have any of the food upgrades? You don't even have horticulture. So horticulture works on berries. So if you have to be on berries or you transition to farms, you need to get horticulture. And you're feeling it, right? You don't have any food for units. 67. 61. You keep missing villagers. You should be up by more villagers at this point on 2TC for a song. I like the mill, the siege drop workshop, but I only drop 1 right now. You just used what 600 wood, which you don't have enough resources to produce out of 2 siege workshops at the same time. So 1. Archers, you need more than. Why are we making spearmen? So ask yourself, what is he using? Palace guards, right? So what do you need to make? Crossbows. If you want your spearmen as a front line, it's fine. But I would just do men-at-arms as front line. Or I would do knights as a front line. So you need a lot of food and gold. A lot of food and gold. So you need a macro too, food, which you're doing, and gold, which you're doing. You just have way too much on wood. Way too much on wood. I would have taken, the second you hit castle, knowing that you're now transitioning into food-heavy units and gold-heavy units, I would have taken half these villagers, moved down this hunt. And you only need like 12 on wood right now. I would take a group, put on gold. Like, you know what you need. You know the units you want to make. Once again, and also you're not scouting. You haven't scouted his base at all. You will need to know he has a nest of bees out right now, which I think you're assuming, which I drop in the siege workshops. But you need to scout, because his comp is all palace guards, some Zugnu. You get a bunch of crossbows, and you get knights, and you win that. I don't like the spearmen. I think you're going spearmen because you're low on food, but you're low on food because of your choices of food gathering right now. I got berries. Get on this deer. It is okay to transition some of your villagers to farms right now, 8 at a time. You want to do like 8. But once again, please use the hunt. Especially the hunt that's spawning next to you. You have 3 deer right here you could be on right now. You're dropping more production that you can't use because you don't have the eco for it yet. So, once again, this is why your eco feels so bad. Well, one, you had so much... Oh, you're doing it now. I'm about to say, you have so much wood, you should have got to 2 monasteries and got all the relics, because I think he got all the relics. Yep, he's getting them. But he's doing his farm transition right now. So you're both farm transitioning, but he also dropped a second TC. Uh-oh. And he's farm transitioning. So what he's done is that he's used the space he got by going castle by not pushing you, but instead getting down his farms. Once again, you don't know this. You could have scouted this. You could have done a little scout run by and seen, oh, he's dropping all of his farms right now, and he went second TC. And you know what you also could have done? 3 knights. Right back here is pushing all of this off the food. He is so raidable right now. He never walled this up. So you need to keep using your knights to their fullest extent and using them as raiding units. 2, you need to see what he's making so you can respond to it. Because once he gets his farms up, he's going to outproduce you so heavily because his farms are just better than yours. Once you've lost tempo, getting the relics would be huge. Getting stone would be really helpful because if you can secure the center, that buys you time. But it's just a lack of information because you've lost tempo. He's getting his stuff up right now while you have lost tempo. You've lost tempo because, one, you were never aggressive, and then he was aggressive enough to buy space and get to castle for no penalty. You then didn't get on the hunt. The hunt is a huge tempo builder for you because you get so much food, which allows you to make units and build tempo. And even if the scenario put out exactly the same, if you were on the boars right now, which he hasn't looked at all, he doesn't want to leave his base, you could be mass producing going into castle and doing a big push right now. But you can't because you've been on moving to farms and going to berries. And lastly, going on these hunts gives you time to go to farms more carefully. So you can transition slowly instead of having to do this big transition all at once, which means you have no food. I did a lot of talking. Let's see how this plays out. Let's say this again. As a teacher, I learned how when people learn, please don't make them walk this far. When people learn, they need to hear something multiple times for it to stick. Please scout. You have 3 scouts. Use them. Raid. You have knights. Raid. Go run in the back here. Don't let him get peaceful. You know he has... You literally saw him move villagers right here on stone. You're letting him... You're doing the exact thing you can't do with China, which is let him do whatever he wants. He's got Imperial for free. He literally is doing whatever he wants. And the second you just let him get his Imperial eco up like this, you cannot beat China. He will out-eco you. Keep making villagers. Okay. You missed Mike right here. By missed Mike, I mean. So you went and got on the crossbows with your spears. I would have run them past onto the clockwork because he just got like 3 rounds on you, which is huge on your spears. Way to have sprinkled something that's nice, but you needed to kill those clockworks immediately instead of taking multiple hits by them. Shout out to the gremlins. At this point, though, he's just going to keep massing units. I'm surprised he didn't wait till he got his elite upgrades. That was an interesting choice by him. Now you're walling up. But just look at the eco. Way better food, way better gold. Because the Imperial officials, if he has all his villagers on 1 gold with Imperial official on it, he's doing crazy right now. He's an Imperial official on it. Tisk, tisk, tisk. At this point, he's just gonna out-eco you. You still haven't hit Imp, right? Nope. Yeah, this is game over. Alright, so what can we take from this? See how he walked and he's dropping keeps. Oof. Okay. So what do we get from this? One, the reason you're not getting food is because you're not using the hunts. You left 2 boars on the field and 2 deer packs. You're not using, and that's a civ bonus you're abandoning, which forces you to go on berries, which forces you to go to farms early, which means you have no food. Use the hunts to power your military into castle, and then do a slow farm transition. 2, you did not use your scouting, doing what your opponent was doing. You didn't respond with your scouting, and you did not take advantage of the lulls in action. The lulls in action are a great time to raid and use your knights to their best effect. Make sure you keep it scout with your army. Make sure you're scouting what your opponent's doing, responding correctly. And lastly, you have to know which civs you can't leave alone. Some civs you can do this kind of weighted out game because you can out whatever with them. China's not one. You cannot let China sit and set up their eco exactly as they want it. You will be out ecoed. Same with Malians. It's like you can't let the Malians just set their cow boom. That's death. So make sure you're adjusting your strategy to your opponent and map. I hope that was helpful to you. If you are someone interested in getting your own replay review, or interested in coaching, anything like that, please check out my link to my coaching Discord in the description below. And good luck on your games.